Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to What's Map, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very, very welcome. Well, it's Monday, it's the start of a new week, so we're going right to the top of the Steam charts, picking out the most popular map at the moment, and it's this one. Now, I'm going to be fair here. This map does look like it's been built by a vanilla player using no mods and doing their best and having a lot of fun. Unfortunately, it does mean that there is a lot of sins that I've got to knock stars off at the end of the review for. In lieu of that, your job today, and I'm looking at you, is to say lots of very kind things in the comments. And if you can say lots of very kind things in the comments, I will let you... Let me think. Yeah, go on. I'll let you hit my like button. So you are going to say lots of nice things in the comments, aren't you? Yes, you're going to find something good to say. Well done. I'm proud of you. Today's map is Lost Canyon by FifthAge. Yes, we are looking at a desert style map, I do feel here. So, yeah, and a canyon at that. So there you go. There's your start square. We probably do have a pre-built intersection in there, but it's not the world's biggest sin. We can let that go, I think. Terrain heights, well, it does look a bit like a canyon, so points for that. Well done there. And then the resources, well, they're a little bit meagre. 3 little dots at the top of the screen, and that's all you get to play with, and it's all tucked together. Okay, off to the workshop, and what do we need? The answer is, well, nothing in terms of plants and stuff. It's 100% vanilla, but we will be needing a LUT, and we'll be using the realistic 1.2 LUT. And there is no theme given. So, well, I see it's a desert map according to the thumbnails and the screenshots. So I have gone with the Upper Pal theme by It's Okay. But yes, you're going to have to choose your own desert theme. Meanwhile, it will get docked stars at the end of the show. And we'll get to that later anyway. You may notice this is a 4-lane highway. A 4-lane highway means only one of two things. It's either Network Extensions 2, which this isn't, or it's mass transit, which I do believe that it is. So if this is mass transit, you need mass transit to run the map. Without mass transit, this map will not load. And if it doesn't load, the map is broken, and therefore, big sin. You have to list mass transit as a requirement, I'm afraid, creator. FifthAge, but never mind. This bridge here, it only has to clear that railway. Now, I know it's been built with vanillas, you know, no mods, but it could easily have been a lot smaller, and so I feel that's probably just stretching out a bridge a little bit more than it needs to be. A minor issue. That said, that rail, we'll have a look at that rail later, and probably wouldn't have the rail there full stop if I was building this map myself. That particular branch line would not exist. You won't have to wait long for that. We'll just follow the highways first of all, though. Now, this intersection, I quite like it from above. And it's the whole, if this was built using mods, this would look quite nice. But unfortunately, when we get down to ground level, there's all sorts of things going on. For example, we're using mass transit, so we've got a 4-lane highway, and it splits into 2 single highways, highway ramps, where it'd be nicer if it had been splitting into 2 two-way ramps, or 2-lane ramps even. We've got a very, very steep up ramp there, which is a bit awkward for the trucks to take, and this is steep and on the angle as well. It's rather nasty. Again, looks like it's been built by hand using no mods. Here, this elevates to an extra level, and you go, well, that's fair enough, because it needs to get over this elevated highway here. But why is this highway elevated full stop? It doesn't need to be. That could be down at ground level, and then everything could just be a lot more smooth. Here we have 2 single ramp lanes going into 1 single lane, and then branching out into 4 lanes. And the whole thing just looks a little bit untidy and a little bit awkward. Over the rail, into the start square now, and this is not a bad location for the start square. Again, I'd like to see a little intersection to get us started, but it's the smallest of sins, that one. But we can crack on and have a look at the asset review and the asset of the day, and I really am in love with this one. Loving it, loving everything about this. It's the modern townhouse by cbudd. Great bit of work, this one. But we'll have factoids because factoids. On this day, January the 7th in 1904, the CQD distress signal was officially introduced. CQ standing for Seek You, with the D for danger added. It only lasted for a couple of years before the now familiar SOS signal took over in 1906. So rest in peace, RIP CQD. Anyways, yes, the Modern Townhouse by cbudd. This is an amazing little asset. Don't see enough from cbudd. Come on, cbudd, churn out more for us. I'm being greedy, aren't I? Modern Townhouse cbudd. The asset of the day. Right, okay, we have highways. There's a little bit of drift between the two highways because no parallel road tool going on here. Again, looks like the whole thing was built freehand, and good for you. Very good for you. I say, unfortunately, just because the way that the show is structured, I have to be knocking stars off here and there for things which 3 or 4 years ago, this would have been an excellent, excellent top level map. It's just because the game has come on so far. Anyway, the road follows the river all the way up, and so does the rail. So we'll come back, instead of coming straight back the way that we were. Now the rail's a little bit uppy downy in places across most parts of the map, but it's not the worst thing in the world. It's really not the worst thing in the world. However, there is one branch line that we're going to follow that is the worst thing in the world, and that's the one we're going to have a look at, because that's the talking point. This map is all about talking. I could show you boring lines like this, well, for another 10 minutes, but no, we want to do the fun. This is nice, however. We've got this little triangular junction, which is enabling the trains just to find their way around without like derailing. I quite like that. We've got another little one over here as well, little triangular one there. And if we put the two together, it's like a little bikini top, isn't it? That's quite fun. What we're going to do is we're going to make our way up the right bra strap, this one over here, only because she said I could. You know, I would never ever go up a right bra strap without permission, clearly. Underneath the elevated highway, that's why I say this branch line I would not even have, so it's elevated for no reason, because now we're going to get silly. We're going to get silly. Let's pretend this is just like a bit of fun today. We're going up this steep ramp, the vernacular, you could say even. We've got a little bit of blue mantle at the top, which is ugly and awkward, and we do have a tutorial on the channel for getting rid of those, without mods as well. Then we have this now becomes a roller coaster over the hills and far away to the edge of the map and the fog. So anyways, yes, there's plenty more to talk about on this map, and not all of it is that bad. Okay, so come back after the intermission and we'll do some more, huh?
Are you bored with the standard vanilla bridges? Have you seen those lovely custom bridges but don't know how to use them? Ooh, very nice. Then you need the Beginner's Guide to Custom Bridges by BonBonB. Click the information button below.
And so back to Lost Canyon by FifthAge and the shipping routes. There aren't any. That would be silly, really, wouldn't it? It would be silly. We do have a little river there, but it's very shallow. We'll talk more about that in a moment. Because water flow, we have a lake on the left. We have a main river as well, where the water is pouring out of Crying Mountain. Weeping Mountain even. There you go, it's Weeping Mountain. It's literally crying me a river. It goes into this lake. We have a little bit of water flow through the lake, and then it finds its way out onto this very, very shallow, this is just Start Square area, very shallow, wide river. Now, if we were to stop and not move and just watch that water, you can see it is literally moving, but only just. So yes, you could definitely draw off of that, you can bump into that. It should be okay, but it is light. You're going to have to use some proper planning. Can you do that in a city planning game? Okay, the map as a whole, I like the design and I like the hills. I didn't think I did at first, but the more I look at them, I think they really works very well with the map. So although you're not going to be doing any building in it, you're not supposed to. It's all about the canyon. Then if we get down into the canyon, we've got, there's your build space. You've got that lake going on there. We'll talk more about the lake in a moment. We've got the river, which we've had a little look at. Let's have a look at it in Technicolor. You can see how the water is pouring out of the side of the hill there. It looks just ridiculous. Now, if that was me, I think having a spawn point down actually in the lake at the bottom would just look a little bit more realistic. You still have to do a little bit of work because you've got to get the water flow going out into the river. But I think that's possible if you're elevating the lake just a little bit up. And it looks like it's slightly elevated as well. That should be fine. Anyway, so there's that one. We've got this lake over here as well. Now, this one has caused me some worries and concern. I'll show you why. Because it looks okay at the moment, doesn't it? And we come up here. We've got all the water pouring out the top of Weeping Mountain number 2. And that looks okay. And then the lake at the bottom is very shallow, more decorative than anything. But if we come down and have a look at spawn points, they're just up on the mountain. There's nothing at the bottom, which means the water's going to keep pouring and keep pouring. The only thing that's going to stop it is evaporation or the edge of the map. Well, the question is this evaporating or is it going to flood? Well, the best way of finding that one out is to sit and watch it for hours. But we're going to go and do some other stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the edge of where the water is up to. And I'll look for something to mark it with. Now, maybe one of these. Maybe trying to work out, get some sunlight on it. It's a bit light. Hang on, let's find a patch of gravel. There you go, patch of gravel. That's where the water's up to, in it about there, I think. That's a bit further. It's a little bit further. Yeah, we'll move that down. So that's where the water is up to. I'll put one on the opposite side as well. So right, we know where the water's up to. We'll go and have a look at another part of the map. Come back and see whether or not it's actually moving beyond there and whether it's going to flood the area. Does need a bit of control even if it isn't. Do like the use of these cacti. That's actually, I would say, some of the better use of cacti in a desert map than I've seen. Yes, your start square is, well, loads of buildable area. There is a load of buildable area around here. And some really quite dramatic backdrop. So while you could complain about the map a lot, there's also lots of positive things you can find to say. I hope you found something positive to say in the comments, because it's not down to me, you know. Okay, now I was talking about themes at the start. There is no theme with this particular map, and so I've chosen the Upper Pal theme. Technically speaking, you should be running with this one, which is the temperate vanilla theme, because that's the one that would load with the map. Or if you were going to stay temperate, you could go with something like, let me look around for a temperate theme with maybe some rocks. Laviante is quite good actually for that. So yeah, something like that. So you can have a slightly greener map with like rocky mountains and cliffs. I think that looks okay as well. But of course, this is technically supposed to be a desert map, so that's you could go down that path. But definitely not the vanilla. Definitely not the vanilla theme. And this is where this map is going to lose some more stars as well, because we've got to be told which theme to get the screenshots with, and what we've got to run with. Doesn't help, you know. It's good that I know what works. Wow, let's have a look at this water. Has it moved on? It hasn't. It's just, let me get the glint of the sun on it. There we are. I can just about see the sun there. How about we speed the clock up and just see if it's evaporating at that point. So yeah, we're not going to get any flooding. That water is just trickling between those 2 points and stopping. But yes, it needs to be controlled just before that. That's no use to anybody there, and will actually prevent you building in that location as well. Anyway, what do you think of this map? Enough about my whinging and moaning. What do you think? Prove me wrong. Is it a 5-star map? Is it a 1-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewer's Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide that one. Do not let me sway you. But what do I think? I think, first of all, aesthetically, I think it's okay, you know. I was quite taken at first, thinking this is actually quite an aesthetic map. So, 3 stars. But then, hang on, that's with the theme that I chose, with the theme that would automatically load with it. Not so much. So, it's got to be dropped down to 2 stars for aesthetics. For detailing, okay, yeah, it is a vanilla build map, and it is clunky. And while there are some that there is an attempt and a valiant effort, it still falls short. I've got to give it 2 stars for detail. Gameplay potential, I was very up the path of 3 stars for this one. And then, of course, we're missing mass transit from the requirements list, meaning that this map will be broken and unplayable if you haven't got mass transit. So therefore, I am obliged to have to say it's 1 star for gameplay, but it's really 3 stars. Anyways, Lost Canyon by FifthAge. I quite have a soft spot for this, you know. It's not the world's greatest map, but I've got a soft spot. I think if you turn the clock back a little bit, I think all of us would be queuing up to play a map like that as well. Anyway, turning the clock forward, it is now January 2020. Thank you very much to all the BonBonB buddies for your support for another month. If you want to join the BonBonB buddies, patreon.com/BonBonB, and yeah, just come and join the party. We can never have enough people at a party, can we? Somebody's got to bring the crisps. Anyway, that's it from me. I've been BonBonB. You've been very, very welcome, and I'll see you very, very soon.